Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktavrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Mahamsa Parivraj Gacharya Stomatara Sadhushishamani Zabandas A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Stamp Founder Charya Srila Prabhupada and Guru Vaishnava Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Gaur Premanande, all glorious Sri Sam devotees, all glorious Sri Sam devotees, all glorious Sri Sam devotees, all glorious Sri Guru and Guru. So I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Sanatana Govind Das, all the way from Afro, maybe further afield as well. Chai, so thank you so much for coming in. And so you think Chai
Yes.
Do you want to come here or you can play with it?
No, it's Kirtan.
Okay. Stop.
Fine. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Jai Radha Madhava Kunja His Divine Srila Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki
Jai.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की
जय।
नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की
जय।
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की
जय।
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
जय।
वृंदावन धाम की जय,
जय।
मथुरा धाम की जय,
जय।
गंगा माई की जय,
जय।
यमुना माई की जय,
जय।
तुलसी देवी की जय,
जय।
भक्ति देवी की जय,
जय।
सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय।
जय।
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu Krishne Matirastu Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to purify myself by being in association here. And we are going to talk about the topic which is Saranagati. So, Sharana means taking shelter, and Agati is when we take that decision to take shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So, this is an extremely important aspect of our existence in the human form of life. So, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanvan Mam Prapadyate. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, after many births, so Anadi Bahir Mukhaji, it is mentioned in the scriptures, Anadi means that which has no beginning. So we do not know when this cycle of birth and death started. There is no beginning. And an interesting thing is, even though the cycle of birth and death has no beginning, it actually has an end. So this is one aspect where due to Krishna's causeless mercy, the logic does not get applied. So, we as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mama eva amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So, he says that eva amsha. Eva means certainly, amsha means part and parcel. So, Krishna says, all the living entities are mama, mine, certainly my part and parcel. Mama eva amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta. And since when are they part and parcel? Is it only since I took birth as a human being in this life? Or in any other life? No. Sanatana. Sanatana means eternally, without any beginning and without any end. So, we as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna are always in connection with Krishna. That is our natural nature. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabo Nai. It is mentioned in the scriptures that this love for Krishna is already there within us. Each and every living entity. Sarva yonishu konteya murteya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all the different types of 8,400,000 types of living entities. It is Jalaja, Navalakshani, Stavaram, Laksha, Vimshati, Krumayo, Rudra, Sankhya, Pakshinam, Dashalakshana. It is mentioned in the scriptures. There is 9 million types of living entities in the aquatics, all these different types of living entities. Krishna says that I am the seed-giving father. Aham bija pradap pita. Sarva yonishu konteya. All the living entities, all the types of living entities. So, we are never separate from Krishna in that sense. The this our eternal relationship is always there. It is when we take the material birth. And why do we take the material birth? The reason is there is ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. Prakriti kriyamani gunai karmani sarvasha yah pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. Until the time I think that I am the doer with a sense of false ego, I will have to keep taking birth after birth after birth after birth. Why? Because I am taking responsibility for whatever actions I am doing. It does not mean, see, there is a very important thing to understand here. See, when we are saying that I am not actually the doer, it does not mean that I can whimsically act and I can do whatever I want. So this is what happens, like, see, the nuclear energy, for example. You've got a nuclear energy. You can use nuclear energy to create electricity. And you can also use nuclear energy to create nuclear bombs. It is up to a person to decide what they want to do. So, this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, this spiritual knowledge, unfortunately, if someone is namam dushkritino modha prapadyante naradhama maya paratagyana asuram bhavam ashrita. Krishna says, those sinful people, there are 4 kinds of sinful people who never surrender unto me. Dushkriti, because unfortunately they have done sinful activities. Na prapadyante, they do not surrender unto me. Who are they? Namam dushkritino mudha. Krishna actually uses the word, unfortunately, foolish. Naradhama, lowest among the mankind. Maya paratagyana, one whose actual intelligence has been taken away by the material energy of the Lord. And asuram bhavam ashrita, the person who is in a very antagonistic kind of frame of mind. So, one of the dangerous things about this is one who has not surrendered unto Krishna can actually use this knowledge to create adharma in the world. Because person can say that I am not the doer. So if I am not the doer, I can do whatever I want and I won't have any reactions to my work. That's not how this works. Absolutely not. And so therefore, this is so Saranagati, Shadvidhi Saranagati. It is Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned, he has written the Saranagati and Anukulasya Sankalpa. So there are 6 different aspects of surrendering onto Krishna. So the first aspect is Anukulasya Sankalpa. So Anukulasya means that which is favorable for Krishna. Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. Srila Rupa Goswami gives the definition of what is the topmost devotional service. The topmost devotional service is, first step is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. I do not have any other desire except to serve Krishna. And someone might say that, okay, you can still go in the spiritual direction. You can have karma kanda or jnana kanda. So Srila Rupa Goswami says jnana karmadi anavrutam. So jnana and karma. So jnana marg says that there is this impersonal philosophy. It is called the Advaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy says that once one realizes that one is Brahman, then there is nothing else to be realized. That is Advaita philosophy. That means once one realizes one is Brahman, everything becomes Brahman, and then there is nothing else. There is no one else other than Brahman. That is Advaita philosophy. That is Jnana philosophy, Jnana Marga. It is called Jnana Marga. So Srila Rupa Goswami says the Jnana Marga also has to be taken away. Why Jnana Marga has to be taken away? Because Bhakti means there has to be Bhagwan. There has to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There has to be Bhakta, the devotee of the Lord. And between Bhakta and Bhagwan, the love, relationship of love is called Bhakti. So this is what is the real Dvaita philosophy. Madhvacharya has given the philosophy of Dvaita. He distinguishes between living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Ramanujacharya has done Vishishta Advaita. Ramanujacharya says that the living entities are like part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So,
Can I ask you something on that point?
yeah. So how we do this is, I will have a talk for a certain amount of time, and then in the end I'll open up for questions. And please remember your questions. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry for that. Okay. So basically, in Ramanujacharya's philosophy, it is that all the living entities are considered as part and parcel of Krishna. So this is Mama Eva Amsha, as Krishna says. All the living entities are certainly my part and parcels. That is Ramanujacharya's philosophy. Advaita philosophy, Shankaracharya, Sharirika Bhashya. So in the Advaita philosophy, once Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Brahman is based on me. So Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adidevam, Ajam Vibhum. So when Arjuna sees the universal form of Krishna, naturally those wonderful prayers come out of Arjuna. And one of the prayers that Arjuna says is, "O Krishna, you are Param Brahma. You are the Supreme Brahma. Param Dhama, you are the Supreme Abode. Purusham, you are the first person. Shashvatam, you are eternal. Vibhum, you are the greatest. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. You are the origin of everyone. All the demigods are coming from you. And Vibhu, you are the greatest." So this is the difference. So when we are saying Anukulasya Sankalpa, the first part of Saranagati, Anukulasya Sankalpa means whatever is favorable for Krishna, I do those activities. So what is favorable for Krishna? Favorable for Krishna is Navavidha Bhakti, the 9 kinds of devotion service that we can engage in. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnum, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So it starts with hearing about Krishna. Shrunvatam Swatata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto hi Abhadrani Vidunoti Surit Satam. So this is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. When we are hearing about Krishna, Shrunvatam Swatata Krishna, that activity by itself is Punya Shravana Kirtana. That activity by itself is very pious activity to get engaged in. Then what happens when we hear about Krishna? Hridayantasto hi Abhadrani Vidunoti. Whatever is there within the heart, which is all material contamination, everything gets cleansed. Malinir mochanam punsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gitam bhasisnanam samsara malamochanam. It is mentioned in the Gita Mahatmya, it is mentioned that in the human form of life, we all are human form of life, and one of the things that generally we want to do is we want to keep our body clean. So we take bath every day. To keep ourselves clean. Malinir mochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gitam bhasisnanam samsaram alamochanam. It is mentioned in the Gita Mahatmya that even once, if one takes bath in the words of Bhagavad Gita, one gets cleansed from the dirt that comes from our association with the material nature. So this is what is unfortunately keeping us in the cycle of birth and death. What is it? There is a very good example that is given. So someone goes to a sage and he says to the sage that why I am not getting free from attachments. I always have an intention that I should get free from attachments, but why I do not get free from attachments? So the saying says that your situation is like you are holding a tree with your hands and you're asking the tree, let go tree, let go tree. That is not the right way, right? When you're holding a tree, who has to let go? I have to let go. If I let go the tree, then there is nothing. So it is, see, the biggest challenge that we have in the conditioned state of existence is that there is, see, we are a Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha means we are a marginal energy of Krishna. So there is an Antaranga Shakti and Bahiranga Shakti. Antaranga is the internal potency of Krishna. So as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, I am Antaranga Shakti. I am never separate from Krishna in that sense. But the moment I identify myself with the body, the moment I identify myself with the body, I am in the Bahiranga Shakti. I'm under the control of the external energy of Krishna. And when I'm in the external energy of Krishna, this false ego comes into picture. So that means the only thing that I think about is my external body, is my mind. And it is really fortunate that we have some, like any kind of living entity, if they even have an iota of interest in understanding the real nature, that is a huge costless mercy of Krishna. Like if Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashchit Yadati Siddhayet Yadatam Api Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvata. Krishna says, billions and billions of people, very few among those billions of people try to attain perfection. And even among the people who are trying to attain perfection, Krishna says, very few know me as I am. Name vidu suragana prabhavana maharshaya aham adirhi devana maharshinam cha sarvasha. Krishna says that even the great demigods and the great sages do not know me. We see in Krishna's Leela, we see very nicely, we see different examples, right? Where, for example, the Govardhan Leela of Krishna, lifting the Govardhan in the small, the little finger of his left hand, very wonderful Leela. So what is there? He's asking everyone to worship Govardhan. Indra doesn't realize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Indra sends in Samvartaka cloud and he's trying to create so much havoc. But Krishna, and in the end, Indra realizes. So then there is Brahma Vimohana Leela. Brahma also gets bewildered. Brahma he wants to test whether Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he actually steals the cowherd friends and the cows, and then Krishna himself expands into the cowherd friends and cows, gopas, and then a wonderful thing happens in the Leela, that the cowherd friends and the cows, the parents of them and the relatives of them, they feel more attachment. So that really very clearly shows that our natural tendency is towards Krishna. That is why Krishna's name is Krishna. Akarshati iti Krishna. Sarvakarshati iti Krishna. One who attracts everyone to him, that is Krishna. So one of the examples that we can understand is, for example, the magnet, right? And the iron. So if the iron is rusted, the magnet will not, the attraction towards the magnet will not happen. But if the iron is nice iron, then magnet will naturally get attracted to the iron, right? Exactly the same thing. So we, as eternal part and parcel of Krishna, since time immemorial, we have been taking birth after birth after birth after birth. So there is rust. We have got rust, unfortunately. So therefore, we are not naturally getting attracted to Krishna. But when we hear about Krishna, Shrunvatam Svakata Krishna, Hridyantasri Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrit Satam. Suhrit, one becomes the best friend of all the living entities. And one understands that Krishna is the best friend of everyone. So this is, the first step is Anukulasya Sankalpa in Saranagati. When we are surrendering out to Krishna, first is that I will do whatever is favorable for my attachment towards Krishna. So Utsaha Nishya Dhairya Tattat Karma Pravartanat Sato Vritte Sangatyagat Shadbhir Bhaktir Prasidati. So in the Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami says, what are the different things that help one to cultivate our natural Krishna consciousness? The first is Utsaha, enthusiasm. So when we are engaging in devotional service of Krishna, there has to be enthusiasm. It is naturally one is enthusiastic. Just like if one in the material world, we have got different kinds of interests. Some people might love football, some people might love cricket, some people might love some kind of music. And how much enthusiastic a person will be towards that. Just an example, right? So that kind of, when we are hearing about Krishna, the whole, everything, the whole existence just goes into Krishna. So that is Utsaha, enthusiasm, Utsaha. Nishchaya. Nishchaya is determination. That I want to I want to engage in Krishna consciousness. And we all can say the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So this absorption in the holy names of Krishna, that is Anukulasya Sankalpa. When I'm chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the whole mind is absorbed in Krishna. It is not mechanical. It is total. This is what Bhavagrahi Janardana. It is mentioned. Krishna takes our emotions. So that emotional connection with Krishna is really important. So that is so Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairyat. Dhairyat is having patience. Because sometimes in this journey of devotional service, it's a Kshurasya Dhara. It is mentioned in the scriptures that the spiritual path is like walking on a razor's edge. You can get cut at any time. Why is it walking on a razor's edge? Because the material energy is so strong. Like we have been taking birth since time immemorial. There is no beginning when we are taking. So as I was saying, right, we have the Antaranga Shakti, the internal energy of Krishna, Bahiranga Shakti, external. So the external energy of Krishna is extremely strong. So that's why Krishna says, Devi Gesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that this energy of mine, this material energy of mine is very difficult to overcome. Duratyaya. Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Krishna says, someone who surrenders onto me, I personally help him to cross over this it's seemingly insurmountable the material energy. So this is what is dhairya. Dhairya means sometimes there might be times when the material energy will become very strong. So at that is the exact time when we have to catch hold of Krishna's lotus feet. And this is what man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namastu mame vaishyasi upvaiva matmanam mad parayana. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, give your mind to me. Because there is nothing greater with us in possession than the mind. Mana eva manushyanam karanam moksha bandhanai bandhaya vishaya sanga mokshaya nirvishaya mana. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that mind itself is our friend and mind itself is our enemy. There is no enemy outside us. Of course, people are coming, right? You've got some person who doesn't like you, and they are kind of giving you bad comments and things like that. They are angry at you and things like that. But if a person understands that they maybe it's their nature, maybe they are going through very tough time, then we will know how to respond to that person instead of reacting to the person. So this is extremely important. So this is what is dhairya. Utsaha, nishkaya, dhairya, tat karma pravartanat, sato vritti. Tat karma pravartanat is anukulena. So doing the activities which help us to remember Krishna always. Sato vritte sangatyaga. Sato vritte is when one is constantly engaging one's mind in Krishna consciousness. That is sato vritte. And sangatyaga. Sangatyaga is the mind is not getting engaged in things that have no direct relationship with Krishna. One of the interesting thing is Krishna says, right? Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi sureyo pranavas sarva vedeshu shabdam kai parusham drishu. We can remember Krishna at every moment. How can we remember Krishna? He says, I am taste in the water or taste in anything. And Srila Prabhupada actually he has mentioned in one of his conversations and talks as well that someone might be a drunkard and they are kind of drinking alcohol. But if they say that this is Krishna, at a certain point in time they will actually leave their intoxication habit and they will become pure. Now, that is the power of Krishna. One of the examples that is given is that of the sun. The sun's light falls on Ganga, pure Ganga water, and it will also fall on some kind of very dirty place. But it will, the effect of that, purity of that is always there. So this is Krishna's name. This Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvat Nama Namino. It is mentioned in the scriptures that the name of the Lord Krishna is like Chintamani. Chintamani means touchstone. Chintamani Prakara Satmashu Kalpa Vriksha Lakshavrateshu Surabhir Apipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. So that is the Goloka Vrindavan Dham, where everything is a touchstone. One wants anything, immediately it will appear. That is what is this is the power of the names, holy names of the Lord. But if, see, it is like someone is having a diamond with them, but unfortunately they don't realize that they have diamond with them. So what will happen? They might actually think that this is just some normal stone, and they might just throw it away. So unfortunately, this name of Krishna is even like there is no comparison. Diamond is just a metaphor. There is no comparison. Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana. This is the pure love of Krishna that is directly in Goloka Vrindavan Dham, that is coming in the form of Harinam Sankirtana here in this material world. So immediately we can be Krishna conscious, pure Krishna consciousness. That is the power of the holy names of Krishna. So that was we were talking about the Upadeshamrita. So the different aspects of Saranagati, right? So first we said Anukulasya Sankalpa. The second is Pratikulasya Varjana. Pratikulasya Varjana means that which is not conducive for Krishna consciousness, we will not do that. And what are the Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpa Niyamagraha Janasangascha Laulyam Cha Shadabir Bhaktir Vinashyati. It is mentioned in Upadeshamrita. Atyahara. Atyahara means taking things which is more than I need. If I keep on accumulating things, it has no meaning. I will accumulate things, whatever is in need, I will accumulate it, and then my mind is totally focused on Krishna. So this is a normal way of living. But abnormal is atyahara. So there is no end to our material greed. Whatever, we are just constantly, like someone might have thousands of euros. They would want to become a millionaire. Someone could have a million, they want to become billionaire. No, there is no end. And this is the unfortunate nature of this material existence. A laulya. But if the same laulya, if the same greed is directed towards Krishna, one will get liberated. So tatra laulyam api ekalam moolam janma koti sukritim na labhyate. This is again Srila Rupa Goswami mentions. He says Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. Srila Rupa Goswami says this Krishna bhakti, love for Krishna, is full of rasa. Rasa is full of emotions. So it is endowed with total love for Krishna. So Srila Rupa Goswami says this love for Krishna, Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati, kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. He says that if it is available in some shop or somewhere, let me go and buy it, Krishna bhakti. Because that is the goal of human form of life. So now if I want to buy something, I need to pay price for it. What is the price that I have to pay for Krishna bhakti? Srila Rupa Goswami says, tatra laulyam api ekalam moolyam. The only price that I have to pay is greed for Krishna bhakti. Just like in the material existence, I have greed for material accumulation. If that greed is directed to kama dveshat bhayat snehat yad bhakta ishvare mana aveshyatat adham hritva bahavastad gatim gata. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, kama dveshat bhayat snehat. So one of the wonderful nature of Krishna is that even if someone is going with a negative kind of attitude toward Krishna, one gets purified. So for example, dvesha. Dvesha is basically one is jealous of Krishna. So for example, Kamsa. Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna. You have got Shishupal. Shishupal also was an enemy of Krishna. So this is even one of the things that happens to these demons is when they get killed by Krishna, they get Sayujya Mukti. Salokya, Sarupya, Sayujya, Samipya, and Sarshti. There are 5 kinds of liberation. The Sayujya liberation is becoming one, the Brahma Jyoti of Krishna, becoming one with the Brahma Jyoti of Krishna. So these so-called demons, they actually are also getting liberation. Why are they getting liberation? Because they are constantly thinking about Krishna, but from a negative perspective. So that is called Kama, Dvesha, Bhayat, Sneha, Bhaya. They are afraid of Krishna. Kamsa was afraid of Krishna, right? Because that Akashvani came in and said that, 8th son of Kunti, 8th son of Devaki is going to kill you. So he was constantly afraid that he is going to get killed. But if there was a devotional kind of sentiment, what would have happened in that case? Say, for example, Kamsa was not a demon, he was a devotee. When that Akashvani came in, what would have been a reaction of a devotee? Would have said, Krishna, I accept. Whatever you give, I accept that. So that is the nature of devotee, and that is Saranagati. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti vishvaso. The third aspect of Saranagati is the firm faith that Krishna is always going to protect me. No matter what, Krishna will protect me. Firm faith, 100% faith. So this is rakshishyati iti vishvaso. So when someone is really very ahead in their devotional service, when they are totally surrendered unto Krishna, they will just, so they are in a renowned state of existence. So in that renowned state of existence, they are not thinking about where my next food is going to come from. An amazing state of existence that is. That is what is 100% surrender to Krishna. But it should not be imitated. It is not. It has to come naturally. Krishna actually mentions anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti sa sannyasi sa yogi cha na niragnir na cha priya. So Krishna gives a definition of actually who is a sannyasi, who is a renunciant. Renunciant, of course, sometimes we think that the externalities is very important. Of course, externality is important. But the mind, what is happening in the mind is also equally important. So what Krishna says is, one who does all the activities without bothering about the results. Anashrita karma phalam. Because whatever activity I do, the only way I'm trying to do the activity is what is the result I'm going to get. This is say for example, you're giving some food to someone who is a hungry person, and after giving the food to the hungry person, immediately one will think that maybe I might get some benefit in return. Maybe this is a punya karma, so I'm going to expect a lot of nice things for me. It's a natural human tendency. This is what? This is ashrita karma phala. That means I'm doing an activity, but I'm always in the back of the mind, I'm doing a calculation that I'm doing this activity, I have to get this back in return. I'll do this activity, but if I just do the activity and say that this is an offering to Krishna, whatever comes out, it is Krishna's wish, whatever he wants, because he is Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Krishna is the owner of the whole universe. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattat sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that everything is coming from me. Aham sarvasya prabhava mattat sarvam pravartate. Iti matva. Someone who knows this, bhajante mam. That person starts engaging in loving devotional service to me. Who is such a person? Buddha. Such a person is an intelligent person. How does he engage in my devotional service? Bhava samanvita. With full emotion, he engages in my devotional service. So this is the total surrender onto Krishna. When one knows that everything is coming from Krishna, so he can use. So nimitta matram bhava sabyasachi. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that, oh Arjuna, you become my instrument. So if if we can totally surrender unto Krishna, become his instrument, then we are not going to get any reaction for our actions. So generally, the reason why we are constantly taking birth and constantly dying is because, I am thinking that I am the doer. This body is mine, this mind is mine, I am doing the action. If I have that sense, that means I need to continuously keep taking birth after birth after birth in the material existence. But if I think that this body and mind is a property of Krishna, and there is no doubt that is the truth, what is our contribution in us getting this body? What is the contribution? Like, the contribution might be whatever actions we were doing in the previous lives, intentionally or unintentionally, whatever actions we were doing. But the fact that we have come from a father and a mother, and we have got this particular body, everything is Krishna's. Bhumi apa analayo vayu khammana buddhirevacha ahankaram ityame binna prakritirashtaka. Krishna says that earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So the body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and space. So when I breathe my last breath, this body has got no value. The earth part will become earth, water part will become water, fire part will become fire, air part will become air, space part will become space. Gone. So what is? So this is, and then mana, buddhi, and ahankara, the mind, intelligence, and false ego. So what happens is, the mind, intelligence, and false ego is constant. So every moment, every action that we are doing is getting stored in an unlimited memory. It is called chitta. So that is why it is called chitta shuddhi. This activity of involving Krishna consciousness is called chitta shuddhi. Shuddhi means purification. Chitta is that subconscious entity that we have. So basically what is happening is, in this subconscious, unlimited experiences are stored. And depending on what comes, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram, ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya, yam vapi smaran bhavam tejati ante kalevaram, tam ivati kaunteya sada tatbhav bhavata. So Krishna says that whatever I remember at the time of death, that I will become in my next life. So this is the transmigration of the transmigration is happening of the living entity, not the eternal part and parcel of Krishna. The eternal part and parcel of Krishna is never born and never dies. So the transmigration is based on my identity with this particular body. When I identify myself with this particular body, and I continue to identify myself with this particular body, then in the next life, when I'm taking my last breath, I'm still in identification with this body. That means my intention is that I have to get another body. But in my last breath, if I know that I am eternal, I am never born, I will never die, and I am eternal part and parcel of Krishna, if that is my intention in the last breath, I will never be born. So this is anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishvaso goptrutve varnam tatha. The fourth aspect of Saranagati is considering the Lord as our guardian. So this rakshishyati iti vishvaso and goptrutve varnam yatha, that Krishna will take care of me whatever be the condition, and Krishna is my guardian, always protecting me, are interrelated. These two are interrelated. Atma Nikshepa. The fifth one is Atma Nikshepa. Atma Nikshepa means total self-surrender onto Krishna. So that means one knows that every event that is coming to me has been arranged by Krishna. And I accept it, whatever it is. Sometimes we might get something that I like, and we can say, "Oh Krishna, this is your gift. I accept it." And sometimes we might get something which we don't like, and that is our test. Can we accept it? When something comes to me which I don't like, can I still accept it as Krishna's mercy? If someone has got that state of mind, then they are nearing Saranagati. They are nearing that state of total surrender unto Krishna. Because this is what there is there is a particular verse where it says that that one who is totally surrendered unto Krishna, they are they tattenu kampam susamikshamano bhunjanam evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbhir vidadhan namaste jivetayo mukti padesa dayabha. It is mentioned tattenu kampam. If one can consider everything as costless mercy of Krishna, whatever be the condition. Sometimes there might be some cases where, unfortunately, an interesting thing that has happened in the modern world is we have advanced very drastically in terms of our technological advancement. But unfortunately, the types of diseases have also become very advanced, right? It's kind of unfortunate. So if someone, say for example, unfortunately has very, very difficult kind of disease, and even in that condition, if one can say that, oh Krishna, this is your mercy, I would have suffered millions and millions of times more, but because of your costless mercy, this has been reduced to this much. So I am continuously tattenu kampam susamikshamano bhunjanam atma kritam vipakam. Through total self-surrender, I am praying to Krishna. Hridvag vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Hrid means through heart. Vak means through speech. Vapu means through my body. Through heart, speech and body. Vidadhan namaste. I'm constantly in a state of servitude to Krishna. Jivetayo mukti padesa dayabha. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that such a person is actually an inheritor of liberation. Mukti pade. He is actually a person who will immediately get liberation. So this is so what are the different things that we discussed? Anukulasya sankalpa, doing activities which are favorable for Krishna. Pratikulasya varjanam, not doing the activities which are going against Krishna consciousness. Rakshishyati iti vishvaso, that Krishna is always my protector. Goptritve varnam tatha, that Krishna is my guardian. Atma nikshepa, the fifth one was what we were discussing, total self-surrender unto Krishna. Atma nikshepa karpanya, the last is karpanya. Karpanya means total humility, understanding that everything is taking place as a Krishna's, it is Krishna's desire that is happening at every moment. Atma nikshepa karpanya shadvidhi saranagati. So it is mentioned that these are the 6 different aspects of total self-surrender unto Krishna. So this is what Saranagati is, and the important thing that we have to understand here is Satam Prasanga. So when we are engaged in hearing about Krishna in the association of devotees, so that is called Satam Prasanga. So what is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam is Satam Prasangat Mama Virya Samvido. So when we are discussing about Krishna in association of devotees, like-minded people, Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayanat Katha. This discussion about Krishna becomes very palatable. We become totally engrossed in this discussion of Krishna. Bhavanti Hrit Karna. Hrit means again heart, Karna means ears. Now the heart and ears become totally engrossed in hearing about Krishna. Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayanat Katha. Rasayanat Katha means one becomes totally, one totally forgets everything else. One is only in Krishna consciousness. Tad Joshanad Ashu Apavarga Vartmani. What is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam is then one comes out of this Pavarga. So this material world is called Pavarga. Like in Varnamala, in the Devanagari Varnamala, just like in English alphabet you have A, B, C, D up to Z. In Hindi you got A, I, E, and then there is Kakhaga. So there is Papha, Babha, Ma. Pavarga it is called. The Pavarga is the material world. The material world is Parishram. Pa is Parishram, Pa is Phena. Phena means, you're doing so much work that, lots of sweat is coming out and all those things. Parishram, Phena, Papha, Ba, Vyarthata. It's futile, unfortunately, in the end. Because, all the material thing is only valid until I have this body. Once my body is gone, the material thing is also gone. And then bhaya, this material world, we are afraid. Padam padam yad vipadam. At every moment, some calamity or another can happen. And ma is called mrityu. Mrityu is death. So this material world is called pavarga. So the transcendental spiritual existence is apavarga. Apa means not pa. So this is Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukrameshyati. So when we are engaging in this discussion of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and let's chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when we are chanting, when we are focused our minds, it's a mind. A mind has to get absorbed. Of course, see, one of the interesting thing is the senses and the mind. So when the mind is absorbed, the senses automatically get absorbed. And one of the senses takes us in the direction the mind. So for example, I like to hear some nice music. And if that music comes into my ears, my whole existence will get submerged into that music. So that means a sense can drag the whole existence into a particular thing, or the mind itself. If my mind, so let's chant again 3 times, but keep the mind focused on the sound vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the mind has to get totally absorbed. And when the mind is absorbed, then that is Saranagati. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi tvayavam atmanam mat parayana. Krishna says that you give your mind to me. Because that is the only thing that we can give to Krishna, nothing else we can give. Even mind is Krishna's, but it is on loan to us. Everything with us is on loan from Krishna, but unfortunately we don't realize it, and we think that I am great, I am the doer, I do this, I do that, I do that. So it's kind of unfortunate situation that we are in. So somehow or other, if we have this karpanya, like even Arjuna said that, karpanya dosho apata swabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammoda cheta yash shreyasyam nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham sadhi mam tvam prapanna. So Arjuna initially in the first chapter and all is kind of talking to Krishna as a friend, and he's kind of giving lots of arguments not to fight the battlefield, not to fight the war, and in the end he realizes that this talking as a friend is not going to result in anything, because what happens in a friendly talk? You don't reach any conclusion, right? You just, one friend will say something, another friend will say something, and then it will just go on like that. But if one person says, now I am your disciple, please instruct me as you, and Krishna and Arjuna actually said, Karpanya dosha. He said that, oh Krishna, I don't know what I should be doing now. Please instruct me. Karpanya dosha, apahata swabhava, pruchhami tvam. I'm asking you, what I'm asking you, why dharma sammoda cheta? Because this is a dharma sankat for me. I do not know what should I do. Yes, shreyasyam nishchitam bruhitan me. Arjuna says that Shreya. So one of the important things to understand is Preya and Shreya. Preya means what is immediately beneficial for me. Shreya is what is ultimately beneficial for me. So Arjuna asks Krishna, please tell me what is ultimately beneficial for me. Yes, Shreyasyam, Nishchitam, for sure, please tell me. Bruhitan me, Shishyasteham sadhi mam tvam prapanna. So he says that, oh Krishna, now I am your disciple, please instruct me. Then Krishna says, Krishna immediately says, Ashocyan anavashochastvam prajnavadam shabashas. Gatasu na katasum cha nanu shochanti pandita. Immediately Krishna says, oh Arjuna, you are ashocyan anavashochastvam. You are lamenting for something that does not require lamentation. And you are thinking yourself as a learned person. Prajnavadam cha bhashase. Why gatasum agatasum cha nanu shochanti. A real person who is in knowledge does not lament either for living or for dead. Why? Because this is all, everything is temporary. We as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna are never born and we never die. So exactly it is the same for everyone. Each and everyone here, even though very strongly I have a belief that I am this body and there are all these bodies, but actually each and every one of us, we were never born and we will never die. It's an amazing fact. And Bhagavad Gita and this Saranagati will help us in understanding that, and will help us in knowing that that we are always in touch with Krishna. At no point we are not in touch with Krishna. So with a prayer that we can always remember Krishna at every moment. Thank you very much for listening. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now we can have comments and questions. If you still remember your question, we can have yours.
Yeah, I try to frame it in this theme that we have today, right?
Yeah.
And probably I'm lamenting here as well. I don't know things I shouldn't be lamenting on, but still I'll ask, right? So I think you certainly mentioned the Advaita philosophy of Brahman and the internal, and then how connecting with that is essentially a way of liberation, right? And then in the Bhagavad Gita we have the 4 layers of we have the Prakriti, Purush, we have Atma, and then we have Paramatma, right? So like if you have to think of an interjection of both, how are they different? So for example, if the Advaita philosophy says that eventually it's all about understanding your own Atma, and then if Bhagavad Gita says that there is a Bhagwan in all of us, wouldn't both the realizations be kind of similar in nature? So how is one different from the other? And if you can get Saranagati in either of them, how is that different?
It's a great question. Yeah. So what's your name?
Aditya.
Thank you for the question. Yes. So basically, say the concept here is that everyone is different, right? We all are unique. As an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, we are all unique, and everyone will have their unique way of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so there is in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse, Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yadgyanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that this tattvam is the truth, the real truth. Vadanti tat tattvavidas. Vadanti means they say. Tat, what? This thing. Tattvavidas means one who knows the truth. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam. This jnana is advaya, means it is non-dual. How it is understood? Brahmeti. It is understood as non-dual Brahman. Paramatmeti, the localized Paramatma. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. Krishna says, I am in the heart. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishta. He is there in the form of Paramatma. And then he is Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So depending on what is the inclination of a person, someone might just be satisfied by Brahman realization. Someone might be satisfied by Paramatma realization. And someone might be satisfied by Bhagwan realization. But one of the verses in Sri Ishopanishad actually says, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pahitamukham tattvam pushan apavrunu satya dharmaya drishtaya. Very beautiful verse in Sri Ishopanishad. The devotee is praying to Krishna that your wonderful transcendental face is covered by this glorious light. Please remove that light and show us your transcendental face so that we can get nourished. That's actually a Sri Ishopanishad verse, right? So depending on, see, at the end of the day, it is basically what is the intention of that particular living entity. So depending on that intention, they will have their realization.
Yeah, but we have the neti, right? Like that's another way of thinking.
Yes.
So eventually, like that's what I've been coming down to over the last couple of days is, if everything is telling us there'll be nothing, right? Then why do we need to glorify? You know what I mean? Like not So in that sense, like, so anyways, I think you did kind of touch upon it. So
Yeah. So see, this is the thing. This is another challenge with Advaita, right? Advaita, there is this Panchopasana it is called. There are five different deities Advaita recommends. Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti, Ganesh, and Surya. So these 5 deities are kind of Panchopasana it is called in Advaita. So in Advaita, this Panchopasana is there, but see the challenge about Advaita is that, see, in the end, it is Advaita is saying that there is only Brahman, there is nothing else. So what happens in the end, there is no bhakti. But Krishna actually mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dadavrata namasyantasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Krishna says that my devotee is constantly singing my glories. Satatam kirtayanto mam namasyantasya. Constantly they are offering obeisances unto me. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dadavrata. Their determination is strong. Namasyantasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Nitya yukta. Nitya means eternally. Upasate means they are worshipping me. So basically, if you look at it from the perspective of Ramanujacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is simultaneously one and different. So that means the living entity, Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, living entity is also Satchidananda, but in a very minute proportion. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. So that means the living entity retains their connection with Krishna. They do not want to get merged into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. So that is the difference. In the Advaita philosophy, there is this merging into the Brahman effulgence. But it's very beautiful in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedavyasa says, he says, and this is Vedavyasa, he says, Ye anye arvindaksha vimukta maninas tvayasta bhavat avishuddha buddhaya aruya kruchena param padam tatah patanti yada anadrita yushmadamre. Very beautiful verse. What it is saying is, Vedavyasa says that someone thinks that they are liberated without recognizing the lotus feet of Krishna. Ye anye arvindaksha. Arvindaksha is the lotus-eyed Lord. Vimukta maninas. He thinks that I am liberated. Tvayasa bhavat avishuddha buddhaya. Vedavyasa says that unfortunately their intelligence has not been fully purified. And he says, Aruya krichena parampada. Aruya krichena means they perform severe austerities. The Advaita philosophy, when one goes on the Advaita path, they perform very, very severe austerities. And then they reach parampada. That means the Brahman, merge into Brahman. Patanti yada. But he says, unfortunately, they fall down. Why? Anadrita yushmad andre. Because they did not recognize the lotus feet of Krishna. And so it's wonderful. This bhakti is, Krishna actually says, Mukti dadati karachit smana bhakti yoga. It's very wonderful. I can give liberation to people, but very rarely Krishna gives bhakti, love. Because aham bhakta paradhino. Krishna actually mentions in the scriptures that I am dependent on my devotee. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the owner of everything. But he says, I become dependent on my devotee. So that's why he very rarely gives pure devotional service. People can get liberation, but pure devotional service is extremely rare. Sudurlabha, it's called. So yeah, it's amazing, this whole... it's a great question. Thank you very much, Aditya. Hare Krishna. Yes. Well,
thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And enlightening us with the wonderful lecture you've given us now. Earlier in the lecture you said that we are connected to Krishna. You mean through the super soul?
Yes, yeah. Paramatma, yes, Paramatma is the means of our connection with Krishna, yes. And of course, the Shuddha Chitta as well. That means when the mind is purified, it is connected with Krishna. But if it is unfortunately in a contaminated state, that connection doesn't happen. It's like the example that we gave about an iron which is rusty. The magnet will not get connected to it, kind of thing. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to understand the last two aspects of the Saranagati, the difference between them.
Yes. Yes, so Anukulasi Sankalpa, Pratikulasi Varjanam, Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso, Goptritve Varnam Yatha, Atma Nikshepa Karpanya, right? Atma Nikshepa is when one is totally oneself. See, Atma is what I consider as me, as an eternal part. Nikshepa is that I take off my external identity with me. So, and it is extremely difficult, because every time, the only time when I know that I am not this body is in deep sleep, right? You don't know anything about anything that is going on. Then you don't know your body. Even in dream, there is this kind of, the mind is making everything, and you're in the dream state. So that Atma Nikshepa is extremely difficult in that sense. Karpanya means when Atma Nikshepa is very strong, then one becomes, that natural humility comes in, where one recognizes that everything is happening because of Krishna. That is Karpanya. Like total, in a sense, understanding that nothing is in my hands, kind of thing. Like even the breath, right? I don't know when I'm going to take my last breath, right? So it is a truth. The interesting thing is all these things is real truth, but the realization of that truth will only happen when there is surrender, when there is humility. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjvam. Krishna mentions about different qualities of a person who is in relationship with him. The first quality is amanitva, humility, pridelessness, adambitvam, ahimsa, non-violence, kshanti. Kshanti is when one is forbearing, arjavam, simplicity, acharya upasanam, surrender onto the spiritual master. Stharyam atma vinigraha. Stharyam is control of the senses and control of the mind. And so these are all the qualities that Krishna says. But yeah, so that is the difference. When there is Atma Nikshepa means one understands that I am not this external body mind, and with that understanding, the Karpanya comes, where one knows that everything is being done by Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Sometime in an accident case, you don't have time to say, they have called for Krishna, call his name. But at the same time, when they're chanting, it's being recorded in your subconscious mind. So that will help you.
Yes.
The fact that you, in your subconscious mind,
That's right.
although you don't have time, you die instantly.
Yes.
That covers you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's right. That's right, yeah. So, Ajamil's story, it's wonderful. Ajamil was really pure Brahmana, and he was totally, in a sense, of surrender to Krishna. Then somehow he got under bad influence, and he lost his touch with Krishna consciousness. But he named his son as Narayana, and at the time of death, he was calling his son Narayana. He was not the Narayana Sri Krishna, but because initially he had that connection with Krishna, the Vishnu Dutas came in. Instead of Yamadutas, he went back to Vaikuntha. So it's amazing. This is Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. Krishna mentions even a small step in this direction saves one from greatest dangers. So it's just amazing, Srila Prabhupada's movement, right? It's just like, all these devotees chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the streets, giving the books, and someone even inadvertently, they are getting in touch with the name of the Lord, and that is called Agyata Sukriti. Unknowingly, they are getting some pious credits. It's an amazing, it's purifying the whole world. Punati Bhonat Trayam. So it is mentioned, Gopi Gita. It's like the Srila Prabhupada's movement is like the Gopis' movement, who are spreading, who are purifying the whole universe. Wonderful. Yes, Prabhu.
I was just going to say that, it's
that's quite extraordinary. All the different levels that you're talking on there, because
Yeah.
you know, because there was like initially we were talking about how it Manushanam Sahashu, it takes out of many thousands and one people one may endeavor for perfection, and then out of them hardly one knows the truth.
Yeah.
So you kind of then think that, wow, is it worth even, you know, talking about this, because only so few people get it, you know. And yet some religious systems you go to, you know, it appears that everybody goes to heaven, you know, somehow or the other, especially at the funerals. I know we've ever been there, you know, they get, oh yeah, he's gone to heaven, everyone's gone to heaven, you know. But what you're saying, it doesn't seem to be the case. You know, but what you have to say there was even a slight little movement in this direction.
Yes.
The saves one from so much.
Absolutely, it's amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Because I was going to ask you a different question. I was going to ask you, because it's like that. What's your motive? You know, how can you motivate yourself? And you know that it's, you know, I know you said it starts for your purification, but still.
Yes.
You do want this.
Yes, it's a great point, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, it's the perspective, right? You can say a small step will save me from greatest danger, so I'll just take that small step and then I'll stop. You could take that perspective. But what happens when a person takes that small step sincerely? One just gets attracted to Krishna, you know. Like, that's why that verse from Srila Rupa Goswami, right? Smeram bhangi traya parichitam shachi vishtina drishtim vamshi nyesta adrakishalayam ujvalam chandrakena Govindakhyam haritanam keshi tirtopakante ma prekshishta tava yadi sakhe bandhu sangesti ranga. Very beautiful verse by Srila Rupa Goswami. He says that this form of Krishna, this smiling form of Krishna, in threefold bending form, with a sidelong glance, smeram bhangi traya parichitam shachi vishtina drishtim vamshi nyesta, with a flute on his lips, adhara kishalayam ujvalam, and he is in a full moonlit night, standing on the banks of Keshi Ghata. And Srila Rupa Goswami says, don't look at this person, ma prekshishta. Tava yadi sakhe bandhu sangesti ranga. If you have attachment to your sakha, your friend, your bandhu, your relatives, sakhe bandhu sangesti, and your family, don't look at this person. Why? Because all your attachment will get destroyed. It's kind of amazing. But we are so much, you know, this is that same story that we talked about, right? A person is saying that, how will I get rid of attachment? It's like holding on to a tree and asking the tree to leave me. How is the tree going to leave me? I have to leave the tree. So this intention towards, let's chant the Hare Krishna mantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this total absorption in Krishna consciousness will take away all kinds of attachments. But we don't want to get rid of attachments. There is a problem. You know, in the back of our mind, I'm still thinking that I am this particular person, and I have these people as my family, these people as my relative, and I have to take care of them. Everything is taken care of by Krishna. We are just an instrument at the hand of Krishna, and everything is happening through. Actually, Krishna is the doer in that sense. If we fully understand this, then we are not doing any action. It becomes akarma. See, the cycle of action and reaction happens because I think I am this person and I am doing this action, and I will do a calculated action so that I get good pious credits in return, and then I will enjoy this life. So that is a conditioned kind of existence. But if I know that this is just an instrument of Krishna, and I am not actually doing anything, Krishna is doing everything through me, then I am not doing any action in that sense, and I won't get any results back. That means we are in a liberated state of existence, literally. It's true.
Just another question on that, because and yet it's the highest morality. You know, it might seem okay, we're giving up family and that, you know, that's initially what it might sound like, but
Yeah.
it's actually not that, because you really look after your family then, and
Yes, yeah.
and you know, I was just hoping that you could speak a little bit.
Yes, yeah. It's a good point, bro. Yeah, and I think it is. It's really there is a particular space where Narad Muni actually says, "Ko vadra abhuda mushyakim, ko vartha apto abhajtam tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare." Narad Muni says that tyaktva swadharmam. So I give up my swadharma. So my swadharma is, for example, taking care of my family, getting a good job, all those things. So that is swadharma at the moment, at this particular moment. So Narada Muni says, Tyaktva swadharmam. I give up my occupational duty, charanam bhujam hare, and I surrender on to Hari. I do everything for Krishna. I become a renunciant in that sense. Bhajan apakhota pate tato yadi. So Narada Muni says that, so I give up my things, but I am not mature enough. Some sentiment comes in and I give up everything. And I'm not mature enough, and because of I'm not mature enough, I fall down. Because because my whole surrender is not 100%, so I fall down. Pate tato tatra ko vavadram abhuda mushaki. So Narad Muni says that there is no loss to such a person. Why? Because ko vartha apto abhajatam swadharmata. Narad Muni says that what is one going to gain by doing all the activities nicely, but one does not develop one's attachment to Krishna. Shrama eva hi kevalam. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma swanushtita pumsam vishwakshina kathasuya notpadyat ratim yadi shrama eva hi kevalam. What it says is, see, this is another problem in this material existence. People say that do good, be moral, and then you are done. You know, you don't. Why are you going to a temple? Why do you engage in Krishna consciousness? What is the need? Do good, be moral. That's it. You know, everything is done. Srimad Bhagavatam says you can continue doing that for millions and millions of lifetimes. There will be janma mrityu jara and vyadhi. One will have to take birth. If I'm taking birth, I have to die. Between birth and death, I'll have diseases and old age. So to come out of this janma mrityu jara vyadhi, one has to somehow or other develop this inclination to hear about Krishna, and that a person has done. You know, so even though they have fallen down, it is not nothing is lost for them in that sense, because they will carry on from in the next life. They will carry on from the place where they left. So it's kind of amazing that way, I would say. Yeah.
So just to push a little bit further on that.
Yes.
From a societal point of view.
Yes.
Is what we're presenting. I mean, it's a very good point what you're saying. I understand that.
Yeah.
You know, that even if you fall down, you're still doing the right thing. It's the best thing to do.
Yes.
But is it a symptom as a society that we're doing things correctly, that people are actually happy? Because in a sense it could be saying that, well, this is a bit callous what we're saying, you know.
Yes, yeah.
Just, you know, forget, you know. But is there some kind of sweet spot in there?
Yes, yeah.
Whereby you can still be philosophically
Exactly
correct, and at the same time
Yeah.
people feel
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, and the sweet spot is that that I think the whole concept of morality is equally important.
Yes.
You know, the morality is equally important. You know, it's not that if someone is purely Krishna conscious, they are above morality. Absolutely not. You know, like for example, following the rules and regulations of the country. You know, if someone is Krishna conscious and pure devotee of Krishna, they cannot say that I will stop following the laws of government. You know, like it's not, like, even from a practical perspective, it is not. It cannot work out. You know, like yeah, there are some unfortunate kind of incidents where some saintly people, I don't know, maybe saintly or not, because we should not be judging anyone, but there are lots of incidents where these things have happened, where, you know, people even got expelled from some countries, and different kinds of nefarious activities took place and all. So absolutely, both are equally important. Like I'm not. So we are not saying here that do good, be moral is wrong. It is absolutely important. But along with that, one has to develop attachment to hear about Krishna. Say if someone is just moral, be good, do good, everything is okay. That's fine. The world is good place because of those people, and it's good. But unfortunately, this cycle of birth and death is not going to end for those people unless they develop this inclination to hear about Krishna.
So Prabhu, just on that one, right? So
Yes.
everything is nimitta. Then why there is karma?
So the karma is happening because since anadi bahirmukha jeev, that is why karma is happening. Since time immemorial, I have phased myself away from Krishna somehow or other. That is why the karma is happening. Once I see Krishna, and once I know that everything Krishna is using me as an instrument, I am an instrument of Krishna, I am totally surrendered to Krishna, then there is no karma. Karma happens because of the presence of ahankara, false ego. Ahankara vimodhatma karta hamiti manyate. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, actually all the work is being performed by the modes of material nature. Like we are now in mode of goodness, and that's why we have this small inclination to hear about Krishna and engage in this activity. After some time, we will do our whatever activity, and then we might go into mode of passion. I want to enjoy my senses. Then we might become tired and we will go to sleep, mode of ignorance. So these modes are constantly acting on me, and the body is doing the action. So this is what is happening. But I think that I am this, and I am doing, and everything is, so when that aspect is there, when that ahankara is there, until the time I have ahankara, I am doing karma. And I will have to keep on taking birth after birth after birth. So the important thing is surrendering this ahankara to the lotus feet of Krishna. Saying that Krishna, it is your material energy which is acting, and because of which I am doing all these things through your material energy.
So it's when you do that, and then all that happens after it is nimitta, basically.
Yes, yeah. So so after Saranagati, it is nimitta. So Saranagati means I'm totally surrendered onto Krishna. Then, Ashlisyava padaratam pinashtumam adarsha. Very beautiful verse, the last verse of Shikshashtakam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written 8 verses. The last verse, he says, whatever you can do, whatever you want to do to me, Krishna, but you are always my prananatha. You are the Lord of my life. So that is Saranagati. That is when one is in that state, no action is done. Because I'm not saying that I am this body and I am doing this action. Krishna is acting. Krishna's modes of material nature is acting on me, and I'm doing the action. But the dangerous thing here is, this is what I said when I was talking as well. People can misuse this. They can say that it is just Krishna. I might kill someone and say that, oh, Krishna acted through me, whimsically. No, see, this is what I was talking. See, nuclear energy, right? Nuclear energy is a thing. You can either create electricity and do good to people, or you can create a bomb and wipe out the whole universe. It's up to you how you want to use it. So the spiritual knowledge is also that. So unfortunately, spiritual knowledge can be misused if someone is a demoniac kind of personality. But we have to always be in a sense of humility, knowing that compassion is extremely important for everyone. We have to be compassionate to everyone. Titikshava karunika suhridam sarvadehinam. There is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. It says the qualities of a devotee. The first is forbearance, titikshava, karunika, compassionate, suhridam sarvadehinam, best friend of all the living entities. Ajata shatrava, very beautiful word. It says that for this person, an enemy has not been born. What does it mean? That means even if someone is inimical to this person, the person will not consider him as an enemy. Why? Because they will say that unfortunately he is in that state of mind, that's why he's behaving like that. It has nothing to do with me. Ajata shatrava shanta, very peaceful. It says these are the actual jewelries that a sadhu wears. Sadhu sadhu bhushan. So it's very wonderful words there.
When you said you have to, in your good times you have to pray to Krishna, and in your bad times also you have to pray to Krishna. But people can take advantage of you in the bad times. Like if someone says you bad thing, and if you are doing it for consistently and you are quiet, so it will affect you either way.
Yes, yes. No, see, the important thing here is, it's not that we do not do the action that we are supposed to do. Like if you look at Arjuna, right? Arjuna fought a war with his own cousins on the other side. Bhishma and Drona were there on the other side. Like it's just unbelievable what he has done, right? So it never means that we don't stand up for ourselves. Actually, that is dharma. At that time, that is dharma. Standing up. See, if someone is being, what is that called? Bullied. Someone is bullying us. We have to stand up for it. That is at that time we cannot say I am compassionate to you. I want to see. It depends on circumstances, right? So sometimes that compassion is actually standing up towards the bully. That is actually compassion towards him, because that person might become a better person. He might maybe stop bullying others. So the important thing here is that whatever we are doing, internally we have compassion for everyone. But sometimes you have to be very strong as well with others. Yeah. Yes.
How can I understand what Krishna wants?
Okay. Very good question.
Because I tend to say, oh Krishna, I pray, I want to kill somebody. And I think, oh, Krishna wants because I think I want to.
Yeah.
How I can to
Yeah.
understand what Krishna wants?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. It's very, see, Krishna is there in the form of Paramatma, right? He says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmeti cha Apyukto Dehesmin Purusha Para. So within the body, there is a transcendental person. That is, Krishna is there in the heart. And he is Upadrashta. Upadrashta means he is overseeing everything. And then Anumanta. Anumanta means he is permitting. Upadrashta, Anumanta cha Bharta. Bharta is he is actually the maintainer. Bhokta, he is actually the enjoyer. And he is Paramatma, and he is the transcendental person within us. So we will know if we can hear Krishna's voice from the heart. Then we will know. But for that, we need to be in a state of surrender to Krishna. So that's why it is very difficult to know what Krishna wants. Not everyone can know that, because I am in a conditioned state of existence, right? Since time immemorial have got so many bodies, so there is a lot of covering that I have in me. So because of that, and that's why this whole calamities happen in this universe, right? Because I think that I am this person and I need to do whatever I want to do. In ahankara I do, and the other person's ahankara will do the same thing to me, and all these ahankaras are clashing with each other in this material world. That's what this material world is. That's what this material world is, right? It's a clash of all these different ahankaras with each other, and that's why it is not Vaikuntha. That's why this place is a place where it's not a non-anxious place. This place is a place where always there is anxiety. Because I am considering something. This Tat Sadhu Manye Asuravarya Dehinam Sada Samudvigna Dhyam Asadgraha. Prahlad Maharaj says to his father Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, what did you learn today in your school? Because he appoints Shanda and Amarka, his associates, to teach him that Hiranyakashipu is the supreme personality of Godhead. So he expects to hear that from Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj says, Tat Sadhu Manye. He says that all this, Asuravarya Dehinam. He addresses his father as the greatest among the Asuras, greatest among the demons. He says that the sadhus are saying this. Tat Sadhu Manye Asuravarya Dehinam Sada Samudvigna Dhyam Asadgrahat. That because I consider this asad, this body, as the reality, I'm always in a state of anxiety. Sada Samudvigna Dhyam Asad. hitvatma patam grahamandhakupam, and all these attachments is causing me to go into a well of darkness. Vanam gatavoyat harim ashrayat. Actually, what everyone should do is take ashraya, take shelter of Hari, Krishna. So when we take shelter of Krishna, then we can hear what Paramatma is saying from within, then we will know what Krishna is saying. But it's not easy. It's
And if I can't feel what Krishna wants, what Paramatma wants, how I cannot understand?
yeah, so that is basically yeah. No, that is where we have to develop our connection with Krishna, through, again, maybe we all can say 3 times, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So we can focus on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then we connect directly to Krishna, and then we know what Krishna wants. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Sorry. I just wanted to get back to the point where you said about Saranagati and total devotion there. That is not something that you can proclaim, it is something that you attain and achieve over time. So for somebody who is just starting off on their journey, if they're taking cognizance of their actions and being conscious about it, that I'll try not to do a bad deed, and be like, okay, I take control of the karma in the sense that I don't want to put harm into the society, and that would bring me closer to the Lord. So is that also like negating those actions because then I'm the doer, then I'm taking control of it, but in the sense I want to do it because I want to be in the right side of things and be more closer to the God, because then that is what they would want me to do.
Yeah, see, at the end of the day, as long as I have this body, I will be doing something, right? Actually, there's a particular verse, Sharira yatrapi chate na prasiddhyed akarmana. So until the time I have the body, I will be doing actions. And you're right, we always have to do proper actions, the right actions, which creates goodwill in the society. Society develops always, every kind of development has to happen. It's not that, technological development should not happen. Everything should happen. Everything should go in a very good way, and we should do everything nicely. That is all important. There are 2 things here. One is, so it's called Vyavaharika and Paramarthika. So there are 2 terms. Vyavaharika is, because I have this body, as I have this body, I am, son of some person, mother and father, and I have relatives, and I have, I have to do work to maintain my body. So all those things has to happen. So, and it will happen. The thing is, depending on what my consciousness is, it will happen. If my consciousness is that I'm lazy and I don't care about the society, then I will create negative vibes in the world. If my consciousness is I take responsibility for myself and I want to make everyone happy, that is good, and we have to always aim to do that. But while doing that, that is where the Paramarthika thing comes in. This is Vyavaharika. Vyavaharika is I'll do everything good and the world should be the best place. That is Vyavaharika, external. Paramarthika is internally, I am always 100%, I know that it is the modes of material nature that is acting on me, and the work is being performed. It's not that, but it's very difficult to actually practically do it, You get the point, right?
My question actually, how do I separate the ego from that? Right? You're taking account of yourself, but you still remove the ego, because ego walks, it's like, I'm the one who's doing it, I'm
Yes.
good, I'm the one.
Yes.
So that removing that I out of that and still being accountable. It's like
Yes.
a bit of a fight
See,
with yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, and that is a paradox that we live in. This material world is that paradox. That's why it is called Tatastha Shakti. We are called the marginal energies of the Lord. So actually we are never born, we never die. So we are eternal. But then we have this covering, this gross covering and the subtle covering, the mind, intelligence, and false ego. And Krishna actually gives the example of vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grananti naroparani tatha shariraya vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani de. Krishna says that just like I take off my old cloth and put on a new cloth, similarly the living entity takes off the old body and puts on a new body. So this is Krishna gives a metaphor of a cloth, you know. So can I say that my cloth is performing the action? You know, no. You know, so it is. So basically, the energy of the Lord is doing the action. You know, and we as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna are always in touch with Krishna. So the whole concept, that is why this process is called self-realization. You know, this whole, it's not that I want to gain something external. I'm not gaining anything external here. What I'm doing is I'm removing the covering that is existing. And when I remove the covering, I will know that Tattvamasi. You know, that is the Veda Vakya. Thou art that. That we are never separate from Krishna in that sense, you know. As an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, we are always in touch with Krishna. So the what we are doing here is when we are hearing about Krishna and when we are trying to understand our original nature, we are removing the covering. Once the cover goes, we know that, you know, we were always in that state, which is pure, liberated state. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, like people are standing out.
Okay.
Line is still down. Can like everyone adjust a little bit so everyone can come in? Sorry,
You had some question?
Yes.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. So
Hare.
my question was just from what the other Prabhu said, and you were saying that obviously we have to want to contribute to society in a good way and trying to do good for everyone. My question was, so my understanding of how karma works is even if you have bad karma or good karma, you do have to come to, so either you repent for your sins or you come to like enjoy the fruits of your good karmas, and that might not come back to me in this life, and maybe I do something very good for the society in this life, but I might not get the fruit of it in this life. I might have to come back another life to receive the fruit of my good karmas, right?
Yes.
So you repent for your sins, but you also have to come back to benefit from the good deeds you've done. How do you then escape this cycle of life and death? Because like you said, we're humans and we're continuously doing actions. So you make a conscious effort to do good rather than bad, but then I still have to come back to benefit from the fruits of my good karmas, right? So how do you escape this? Or how do you get moksha? Or
Yes, yeah, it's a good question. So, aprarabdha phalam kutam bijam. You know, so basically, all the activities. So there is one called aprarabdha. So there is a prarabdha. Prarabdha means, for example, whatever enjoyment that I am getting now, that enjoyment I'm getting because I did some pious activities before. That's why I'm getting, so that is called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha means whatever I'm getting now, or if I'm suffering because I did some sinful activities before, I'm suffering now. That is prarabdha. There is aprarabdha as well. Aprarabdha is things that are in the making. That means the action that I'm going to do in the next 5 minutes. So that action is going to give me result again. Right, so that is one thing, and then there is bija. Bija means as a seed. So there is an action that I have done, and it is in the form of a seed. It needs to fructify. So all these are there. So generally, what they give an example of is, suppose a fan is rotating, right, and I switch off the fan. When I switch off the fan, does the fan stop at that moment? It doesn't stop at that moment, right? It still has some kind of kinetic energy left in it. And it will move a little bit, and then after some time it will stop. Exactly, that is the thing. So once I am in Saranagati state, that means total surrender onto Krishna, and knowing that everything all the activities are being performed by the modes of material nature, and me as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna have never done anything and will never do anything. If I'm in that total state, then from that point on, there is no accrual of karma. Then nothing is going to give me. I do some good activities, I'm not going to get any good returns later. I do any bad activities, I'm not going to get any sinful things in return as well. So basically what will happen is, after that Saranagati, after the total surrender in that state, whatever prarabdha karma was there, that will come into play. But after that is done, one does not need to take another birth. You understand that?
Yeah. But how do you measure like surrender to God? Like how do you completely, like maybe in my head I think this is surrender to, like I've surrendered fully to Krishna, but maybe that's like, it's, how do you quantify it that I've completely surrendered to Krishna? Or like how do you measure that?
Yeah.
Because I could spend the rest of my life thinking I've surrendered to Krishna, so whatever actions I do will not have any result. But maybe that's not the case. And I never completely surrendered to Krishna, so even my good deeds or bad deeds, so I'm just stuck in that cycle again. Like how do you quantify it?
Yeah, the quantify is that verse that I was talking before, Tattenu kampam susamikshamano. So when one considers that everything is a mercy of Krishna. See, the problem in this material world is Ichha Dvesha Samuttena Dvandva Mohena Bharata. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that the whole existence in this material world is based on Ichha and Dvesha. So Ichha means something that I like, I am totally attached to it. I don't want to give it up. I'm just hanging on to it. That is Ichha. Dvesha is something that I don't like, I just run away from it. Even for a moment, I don't want to be with it. So these two propensities are there in us. So the guide about my Saranagati is that I can be equanimous in both Ichha and Dvesha. Sukha dukkha same kritva labha labhau jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsisi. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sukha dukkhe same kritva. Something extremely happy thing happens, I'm okay. Something extremely bad happens, I'm still okay. The equilibrium, equanimity. Labha labho. I gain something. I win a €1 million lottery. I'm still okay. Or I lose $1 million. I'm still okay. Jaya jayo. I'm victorious in something and I'm lost in something. Or someone is extremely famous or no one knows anyone. So one is not bothered about all these externalities. One is totally situated in the love for the Lord. Then that is Saranagati. Externalities will not matter for that person. So that is what. See, conditioned existence means I'm always dependent on approval of another person. So that is conditioned existence. So if someone is praising me quite a lot, I would love that person because he's praising me so much. Someone criticizes me, I will hate that person. I don't want to talk to that person at all, kind of thing. So that is conditioned state of existence. But in a liberated state, when Saranagati is there, one takes everything equally. There is no, it's all, one knows that this is all external. There is no, it's not, one does not associate with externalities that strongly. That's how we will know that we are in that state. Hope it answers.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Jai Sanatana Govind Prabhu ki
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So gentlemen, the next part, Ankota Prabhu is going to do a quiz, and then after that we're going to have the Aarti, and then we go downstairs and have some prasad. So that should all happen in the next half an hour. Don't ask too hard questions there.
No. No worries. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for the lecture. Let's keep this short now. And too short. Thank you for all of you for coming. there may be one or two new people. How many new people? Put your hands up. Only one? Two. Okay. First question. Who wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam? Put your hands up, please. I think somebody has put a hand up the far side there. Should we give the ladies a chance first? Somebody put their hands up at the very end there. No. Okay, now we'll hand it. Okay, we'll let you go.
Shri Krishna Dvaipayan, Veda Vyas Bhagwan.
You? Say it loudly.
Sage Vedvas.
Anybody else? Yes.
Ganesha.
No.
Lord Ganesha.
No. Is it not Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami?
Alexa, what was your question?
Who wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam?
Srimad Bhagavatam,
Yes.
yes. No, your answer is wrong then.
Yeah, Vedavyas. Vedavyas, yeah. He is right.
Yeah, no, no.
Yes, yeah.
The book was second question. What does Krishna mean?
He was talking.
When hand the book over, what does Krishna mean? Okay, now we're gonna give it to you, Shani. What does Krishna mean? The what? Yes, the all attractive person. Okay? And do you know the 6 opulences? This is not part of the question, but if you want to say it, say it. What are they?
Our beauty, our strength,
Speak loudly.
our beauty, our knowledge, our strength, our wealth, our renunciation, and
Did you mention beauty?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So one more to go. Can anybody give the last one? Yes.
Courage.
Sorry?
Courage.
Courage. All right. So they're the 6. But you in the book. So can you give this book to Ishani, please? Thank you, Ishani. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Courage is not 6th word, right?
Sorry?
Correct answer, courage, right? Pain, no?
Pain.
Sorry?
Fame.
Fame.
Fame is the last one, not courage. Fame is the last one, not courage. Is what they said.
Yeah, but he probably defined it as courage.
I'm not
To
sure.
have fame, you have to be courageous to have fame. Okay? Okay. We accept you, your one as courage. But it's fame. Haribol, Haribol. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.
Now we're going to have an extraction and Gore Aarti. So if everyone could stand up and see yours.
Maybe spiritual
It's okay.
We go in the back? We go in the back?
Excuse me. Pass it back. Pass it back. Double check.
Just a second. That's the front. You want to be in the front? Okay, let's go.
जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा पंचतत्वा जय Krishna Krishna Vyodhane Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutane Srimate Bhakti Shiva Shiva Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Jaya Shri Thank you. Everyone can go down. We can go down to offer the essences.
His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananda Kudu Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Benzika Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kundu Radha Kundu Giri Govardhana ki. Vrindavan Dham ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Jamuna Maya ki, Banga Maya ki, Tulsi Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki, Hariram Sankirtan Yagya ki, Brihat Madonna Transcendental Book Distribution ki, ISKCON Ireland ki, Go Premanande! All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. We're going to have the prayers to Lord Shingadev. Namaste Narashimhaya. Namaste Narashimhaya. Hiranyaha Shubho Vakshaha. Shila Chankana Kalaye Ikon Shinga Paraton Shinga Ikon Shinga Paraton Shinga Yatoya Vita Tonishinha Yatoya Vita Tonishinha Vahina Singha Vidahina Singha Vahina Singha Vidahina Singha Naya Singam Jim Jaya Nabapate Naya Singam Jim Jaya Nabapate Avakaja Kamala Bhademata Adutta Shinga Kalita Hirana Kashipu Putana Vendam Kesava Kita Nagarupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Hey! Shri Bhagavan Ke, Jaya Ke, Go Premanande. I'd like to thank today the sponsors of the feast today. I'd like to thank them very much for helping with that. Also, I'd like to thank, I know he's still here, but Jimmy was here earlier. He does the sponsorship for all the feasts actually. Haribo! Haribo! Hare Krishna! Haribo! So we're going to keep on doing some kirtan, and then if anyone wants to go down, the prasadam is served downstairs now, so you can make your way down and start taking prasadam, and then just stay for a little kirtan if you want as well. Hare Krishna.